Hey there. So today I want to return to a subject with Erik Larsen. Now this is a continuation of something I talked about the other day, wherein Jim Gibbons and Erik Larsen, they basically showcase this same process of thought where they talk about Nazis within the industry. Now Gibbons was talking about secret Nazis out there. And we've seen that language before. We've seen them come out of the woodworks talking about secret Nazis, only the language at that time was crypto-fascists. Now, people like Perez, they've utilized that language, and well, Erik Larsen went out of his way to defend it. Why? Well, apparently, Erik Larsen thinks it's A-okay to call certain people out there Nazis. Now, when he's called on that, of course, he resorts to what we're talking about here. But first, I want to touch on what was said before, because I think that being completionist, I think that that's important. You can see that, and you can also see the deflection points. He wants to go to talking about people being actual Nazis. Now you look at this. He wants to say that he's not talking about conservatives and on, but I mean, you tell me here. So pro tip, if plenty of other people who share your political views or are from your specific ethnic group are getting work, it may not be that you're being discriminated against because of that. It may just be you. Now, within that, if we took that and we took that as a standalone comment, what kind of backlash do you think you would get from that? Do you think, quote unquote, people of color would appreciate you talking about their specific ethnic group? Do you think that there would be a lot of people out there lambasting that? But of course, he goes out and he adds statements like this. Several vocal conservatives have blamed their political beliefs on floundering careers, but many conservatives are working steadily and have been for decades. So maybe it's not just that. Now he brings up conservatives within that, and then he goes further. And yeah, if you act like a fucking Nazi, you may find work drying up. Don't be a goddamn Nazi. Has history taught you nothing? Now, he wants to say that these comments are not intertwined, that you're not seeing him go out and basically associate conservative with Nazi. And yet, here we are. So let's look at his comment. After bounding into comments, decided to talk about that. So he says, instead of reading between the lines, why not read the fucking lines and take them at face value? Conservatives get all kinds of work. That's never not been the case. But if you start publicly advocating that transgender people be marched into gas chambers, you're on your own. What in the hell is this guy on? What is he talking about? Oh yeah, of course, SJWs always lie. They always conflate things. They always try to make it sound like he and other people like him are out there defending transgender people from going into the literal gas chambers. Because there are so many people out there within comic books that have been talking about that. Now that might get you likes on Twitter, but what that's not going to get you is sales. And it's going to hurt sales for other people as well, because I don't want my money associated with this kind of garbage. And that's what it is. This is garbage. This is that guy going out of his way to try to make the indefensible defensible, because of course, he was talking about those realistic Nazis out there that are literally talking about marching transgender people into gas chambers, because there are a lot of comic book professionals that are having that discussion. Again, looking at that comment versus taking this comment and this one and talking about the comic industry. This is the comic industry this guy is talking about. But he thinks that this is somehow acceptable rhetoric. And of course, to make this here acceptable, he starts talking about people being marched to gas chambers. Again, crazy rhetoric. This wasn't his first attempt to deflect away from that either. I mean, you can see this again out here. No work for conservatives, says Comics Down, Cody Scott here. So, Nazis are conservatives now. You sure that's an affiliation you're comfortable with? Again, looking at his statement, he brings conservatives into the discussion. He brings them up very clearly within it, and yet he wants to pretend that he didn't. He wants to say that it's something else, that there was some kind of other hidden meaning within that. There was other contextual factors, when I would like that to be pointed out to me somehow, some way. Again, looking at the like something that Nazi brings up, yeah, that's great stuff, but it doesn't make sales. So Bounding Into Comics talks about that. King Impulse here, Sandwich Boy, who has blocked me, so you'll notice that's blocked. Tim here, of course, blocked me, so I blocked him back. And others have accused Ethan Van Sciver of being a Nazi when he has repeatedly denied those claims, and when pointed out he is a Republican, which they said themselves that was the reason that he was. They have even come out and said that, Now, then we have Nakatomi Tim, saying he attacked Ethan Van Sciver because he supports the real Donald Trump there. He's the one who brought this stuff up. And you see the type of blowback that this gets. Continual blowback. You could see all of the comments to this and to the other comment. But hey, trying to rewrite that and pretend it had some other context, that's really going to work out for you. That's the thing, again, when we're talking about comic books as a whole. We're talking about this industry and why it's floundering. Maybe it's because these people have showcased who they are. They did it in one of the most obscene fashions. They threw it out in your face, and they expected you to pay for the luxury of it. Because when they go out and they rail on conservatives who are within the comic industry, what they also do is they rail on people who buy comic books, people who are putting money into these creators' pockets and actually allowing them to continue to subsist, not just buying comics, but literally, letting them not only work, but buy food, pay bills and on. Well, those people now are Nazis, and I would encourage any of the people being railed on like that to really, really think what kind of standards you support out there. But anyhow, looking at this kind of stuff, looking at what he said there, do you see some other context within that? Do you think he was trying to bring that up? Are you seeing Nazis marching down the street trying to throw transgender people into gas chambers? Are you seeing any of that? Because I kind of missed the headlines on that. And I'm wondering, if maybe, I don't know, I fell into a coma, didn't realize it. I noticed my hair didn't grow very well on my face. I usually have to shave every day, and I still was pretty clean shaven. So I don't think I fell into a coma, but who knows? Maybe someone else can tell me about that. So what do you think about this? I appreciate your comments. Thank you.